He was the golden boy of the Army of Northern Virginia and the golden boy of Robert E. Lee. His name was Jeb Stuart, and he was mortally wounded here at the Battle of Yellow Tavern on the 11th of May, 1864. Not much remains of the original battlefield. Many of the homes that you see right now were built between 20 and 40 years ago. Not the mass development that occurred north of Richmond in recent years, but still enough to destroy the battlefield. The only thing that really remains is a small patch of grass, and on that grass, a monument to Jeb Stuart, and it talks about his life briefly, and it marks the spot or the area in which he was mortally wounded. Now on the 11th of May during the battle, it was a melee. Stuart was clashing with Sheridan. 4,000 troopers under his command were trying to defend the city of Richmond. And while trying to rally his troopers, it was then that a member of the 5th Michigan Cavalry, John Huff, in the middle of the melee, pulls his .44 caliber pistol and starts firing blindly at the Confederates. And he strikes Stuart, mortally wounding him. And Stuart would die the next day. He's buried in Hollywood Cemetery. So somewhere in this area is where the action actually happened. So the monument doesn't mark like the core of the battlefield or the entire battlefield itself. This little park is about all that remains, and it has a couple benches. It's got a flagpole with the Confederate national flag on it, and that is about it. Even though the battlefield is small, it's hard to imagine that 4,000 troopers under Stuart actually clashed with Sheridan here on the 11th of May. Now, this was just a short little video for a very small and short little battlefield. But certainly Jeb Stuart was a huge figure in the Army of Northern Virginia, and he did so much for the Confederate cause. As a matter of fact, he was very integral to winning several battles, including saving the city of Richmond itself. But what he's probably best known for, other than his flamboyant appearance, he had always a hat cocked up on one side with feathers in it, and he was always a dashing and dapper looking young man. Militarily, what he was probably best known for was letting Robert E. Lee down at the Battle of Gettysburg. Very famously put by the character of James Longstreet, as portrayed by Tom Berenger in that movie. He was off trying to get his name in the papers. He basically abandoned Lee, and he went way out and around doing some small raids on towns, trying to continue his notoriety instead of being the eyes and ears of the Confederate Army, something that Lee desperately needed at Gettysburg. But he is a person that we do remember. I even had a friend in high school named Jeb Foster, James Ewell Brown Foster. But I always thought it interesting that you were able to drive down a small residential street and find the place where one of the major players in the American Civil War was killed. Not a huge battlefield, not lots of monuments, but something very simple on a white wall. Again, if you like this video, please click like and subscribe at the bottom and that little bell notification to let you know whenever I've uploaded another video. Until the next time, thank you very much for watching.